I want to just ask a few people in the group here, whoever wants to raise their hand. First of all, who's using command for anything at all? I don't care if you just went in there and click a few buttons. Okay, so a lot of people are using command. And who is using lead generation, like digital media, Facebook, Instagram? Okay, you are. And what kind of results are you having? First of all, what kind of ads are you running and what kind of results are you seeing?
I'm not necessarily running any ads. It's just feedback from people that have followed me. And
so with through command, you're running like some side of like what are you running, like social posts? You're not doing sponsored posts? Like,
I'm not doing it through command. I'm just like kind of making my own social media posts.
Okay, so you're not using command. Who's using command as lead generation, like creating ads? Okay, and are you having results? I'm sorry, what?
Holly, Savannah, and Seth look like they're doing it.
All right, cool. And are you seeing leads coming in?
Yeah, the leads are, a bunch of leads are coming in, and they're going straight to our command database, and it's good. It's just I gotta figure out a way to get more serious buyers, because when I contact them back, they're not answering, they're not responding to emails or texts. So I don't know how serious they were, but they clicked on my ad, they went through it, they put all their information in there, and then they don't respond.
So let me back up a little bit. They don't put their information in there. Facebook populates it for them, and all they have to do is approve it. So they're not sitting there like typing their name, email, and phone number saying, please contact me. They're agreeing to have their contact information sent to you, right, in order to see what you're advertising. So that's extremely different. That's very different, right? Because if they had to type it in, that's why, like, if you just put a link on Facebook with a house for sale, you don't get anyone filling out the lead form, because they're typically not going to voluntarily do that. The places where they do that are Zillow and Realtor.com, because that's why those leads cost $1,000, because they lead to closings, right? That's why Facebook leads are $2, because they lead to closings, but it could take a very long time. So you're paying accordingly for it. With Google AdWords, where people are sitting down at their computer and they're typing in homes for sale in Ridgewood, New Jersey, those are slightly more expensive. They can be $10, $20. There's Google AdWords. So you have three different types of internet leads. You have Facebook leads, who are way at the top of the funnel, 12 to 18 months out, typically, right? The beauty of a Facebook advertisement is, in getting leads from Facebook, is like, you're probably getting people who maybe they've been to Zillow and dabbled in what Zillow shows them, but they haven't reached out to an agent. So you're kind of getting them like before they get like enveloped in that Zillow, requesting to see properties through there before they've actually gone to open houses. With Google, but the thing is, with Facebook leads, they have to type it. They don't have to type in their information. It's given to you because Facebook populates it for them. With Google, they're a little more motivated because they're actively seeking you out by typing into Google, homes for sale. And then with Zillow, they're going directly to Zillow or Realtor.com, looking for homes and clicking that request to see a property button. So the motivation levels on all three different types of digital media leads are vastly different. But what I'm going to show you is a little bit around some ads that I've created that over the last, now it's more than 90 days, but since February, it's brought in 3.3 as of yesterday, 3.3 million in appointments set with qualified buyers, okay, through Facebook. My spend was about $450. I generated 105 leads, and there were about 7 or 8 appointments that were set that all equaled 3.3 million in volume through Facebook. So what I did was I was able to create a way to generate higher, more motivated opportunities. So like Google AdWords motivation, not Zillow or Realtor motivation, but better than Facebook motivation. And so I'm just going to show you some of the examples there. So let me jump into command. Oh, I need to share my screen if you want to make me host or give me sharing capabilities.
Gotcha. You're in. Okay, so we're hearing that. So it's Facebook, Google Ads, and then Zillow as the 3 levels of the motivation of the lead. And what you're going to show us is how do we get those Facebook ads at the Google ad level motivation?
Right. So yeah, we're gonna. What I've been doing is running ads that have been bringing opportunities that are more. Now, to say that Facebook leads aren't motivated, that's inaccurate. They may be motivated, but they're not. But they're further out in the process, right? So it's not to say like someone from Facebook says, "I want to buy a house in 18 months." It doesn't mean they're not motivated. It just means they're not ready, right? Google leads are typically more ready. They're like 6 to 9 months, right? And then Zillow and Realtor are like right now, within a month, right? So I'm just going to show you some ads that I created that have brought in higher quality Google level leads through Facebook. All right. So, but first I'm going to show you this ad. This was just a single property ad. Single property ads, like just listed or open house type ads, those are going to bring you the most amount of leads, like the highest quantity, right? You're going to get an influx. Like this one was a property in Bloomfield. It was my mother's listing. It was a cute little house. And I created a design template through designs to make it more eye-catching. I threw some emojis in there. I also put a little hook. Like you might be able to save up to $33,976 on this property. And that's how much they could potentially save up to if they use Keller Mortgage. And all that information is on your website. If you go to your KW site and you go to any property, right underneath the photos, it shows them. You could save up to this amount with Keller Mortgage. So and Keller Mortgage is licensed in all 50 states. So if you wanted to use this as a hook, that's a good conversation piece, right? Everyone wants to save money. Here's what one of those ads looks like. Nothing special, but it brought in 31 leads for $1.61 each and for $50. And we had 3 conversations, which means I was able to talk to 3 people out of 31, which is great. We did set an appointment, but she had a realtor, right? But because this was my mother's listing, I felt that was money well spent anyway, because my mom had the listing and she had a realtor and she wanted to go see the house and she saw it on Facebook. 2 other conversations we had didn't really lead to much. We're still nurturing them with listing alerts, but conversations are better than no conversations, right? And then here's my next example. So this one, you'll notice the leads were, we only got 8 and there was $313 per lead. So it was 50% higher cost per lead. I only spent 25 as opposed to 50, but if I had spent 50, I would have gotten about 16 leads, which then would have made this ad 50% more expensive, and I would have gotten 50% less leads. But I knew that was going to happen because this is how I'm generating higher quality and more right now Google type leads. So $25, 8 leads, $313 a lead, but this is what it looked like. All right. So this is where your KW site really comes in handy.
Yes.
Like leverage the neighborhood aspect. All right. So I know like everyone's got some problems with neighborhoods on our site. Like I get it. You might not think they have the right names, or you might not think the neighborhoods are carved out the right way. That doesn't matter in this instance. Does not matter. So remove that from your head because that doesn't matter. What matters is bringing people in to look at data, and everybody loves data. And our data on our websites are much more hyper-local than they are on Zillow. And I'll show you why in a second. But I ran this for Glen Ridge, and it's not a very attractive ad. Like it's kind of boring, right? There's no pretty pictures of kitchens to look at. There's no beautiful backyard oasis like that, like they have on HGTV. It's just a map. But the cool thing about this map is on the map, you can see the different like pins on the map of how much it costs to live in this house. It could cost you over $1 million to live in Glen Ridge. So I'm in essence like deterring people from clicking on this, right? Like this is not eye-catching. And if you look at it, you'll see, oh my God, $1 million, that's way out of my price point. But let's look at what the ad is saying. So the verbiage is really important. Glen Ridge, New Jersey is one of the most sought after destinations for home buyers. All right, so right off the bat, home buyers is like, that's the key word right there, the key phrase. I'm attracting people who want to buy a house. I'm basically saying, if you're not a home buyer, just keep scrolling. If you can't afford $1 million, just keep scrolling, right? So those two things are deterring people from clicking, which is why I want people to scroll. I don't want people to click on this ad, which, as crazy as that sounds, right? I'm also pointing out there's New York City direct trains, great schools, etc. When they click learn more to explore Glen Ridge, down here, you can't see the button, but it says learn more. When they click learn more, that Facebook lead form pops up, has their information. They click submit, and then they're led to their your KW site. All right, so I'm going to go to mine, and I'm going to show you where they went for this particular ad. So I'm going to type in Glen Ridge, and here. So Glen Ridge is so small that it's a city and it's also a neighborhood. So here's Glen Ridge. Here's the town or / neighborhood. Okay. And I want to come here. This is the aspect of the site that Zillow and Realtor don't have. They don't have neighborhood hyperlocal data. They only have town data, right? So when someone clicks on that ad, they're going to be led to this page right here. So let me back up for you. They see this ad in their newsfeed. They click down here, learn more, that you can't see because it's cut off. They get the Facebook ad form, click submit, you get their information, and then they are sent here to this type of page. Okay. And this page is so interesting and convenient because it reduces the reason for someone to go to visit other sites to get this information. This one landing page of a neighborhood shows them information that they would have to go to like 6 or 7 different websites to find. Okay, so now they're on this neighborhood page. Again, no houses to look at here yet. Okay, so let's see all the different pieces of information that they have, and tell you how many different sites they would have to go to. All right. So market snapshot, they would have to go to a site to get this information, right? They would then scroll down to what locals are saying about living here. They would have to go to another site for that. Now, all of this, what locals are saying, this is all fair housing compliant. There's nothing about race or religion in here. It's all just kind of interests, right? Like gardening, sports, wine, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hey, what kind of people live in that area? Well, I can't tell you like who lives here, but I can tell you what they enjoy doing. So this is a great bit of information so people can, see if it's a neighborhood that they would, make friends in. All right, then they can calculate a commute. So you see, once I'm logged in and I calculate my commute, the commute times always stay there. So they would have to go to another site for this. Schools, they would have to go to another site for. Yelp integration to see what restaurants and shopping places are in the area. They have to go to that. Okay. And then they would have to go to a home search site. So 6. Down here you see other neighborhoods. So this is kind of like the Netflix experience, right? Like Watchung East neighborhood 805, Bloomfield neighborhood 902. A lot of these are kind of like similar price points, give or take. Well, this one's not, but you get the point. So it kind of brings them to other areas that they might be interested in. So this is where they're going. And let me tell you that this ad, the magic behind it is the targeting. So I'm targeting higher net worth individuals. So I'm creating my ad. I'm targeting people interested in finance, stock market, accounting, stock exchange, anything, luxury properties, luxury cars, people who look on realtor.com for homes, people who look on Zillow for homes. So I'm targeting a higher net worth, but I'm also targeting housing websites. And when you target a higher net worth, And I'm also targeting New York City. I'm not targeting Glen Ridge or Montclair. I'm targeting New York City because my buyers are not coming from Glen Ridge. They're not coming from Montclair. They're coming from New York. So one of the mistakes that agents make is they have a house for sale in Ridgewood. They target Ridgewood. Your buyers aren't coming from Ridgewood. Where are they coming from? They're probably coming from the city. So why are you targeting the city that the house is in? That makes no sense. So target the area in which your buyers come from, and then target a higher net worth. Because I know Ridgewood's like $700 to $1,000 price point. I know that for a fact, $800,000. So why wouldn't you target a higher net worth? I don't want to get an influx of excess amount of leads for people who want to rent. I want to get people who want to buy, who live in New York City, who have a higher net worth. So I'm going to target New York. I'm going to target people with a higher net worth. And that's why I'm only getting 8 leads here, right? 2 appointments were set for this. One for 450,000 pre-approved, one for 600,000 pre-approved. Up here, again, I did it with this listing, which was $900,000. This was, again, my mom's listing in Montclair. This was $900,000 listing. But you got to notice here, I put the price of the house in the ad. Okay. Really important. Put the price of the house in the ad, whether it's in an image, whether it's in the ad copy, put it in the ad somewhere. I strategically put it here on the 3rd slide. I didn't put it on the 1st slide. Put it on the 3rd slide. I also used designs so it looks eye-catching. And this one, again, we targeted a higher net worth because it's a $900,000 house, and we got 11 leads for even higher price, $455,000. But this one got us a listing appointment, and she also wants to buy a home. So it was a listing and a purchase.
Nick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you be willing to like walk through, like you're talking about targeting, would you be willing to walk through like setting up an ad and targeting?
Yeah, I can go. I'm not going to go through setting up an ad because it's going to take a very long time, but I can
Sure.
go through the targeting aspect of it.
Okay, thank you.
I can send you guys a video. I can send you guys a video on how to set up an ad, but I'll show you how to target specifically. And let me just show you this one. So this one was $1 million listing in West Orange, 9 leads for 556. This brought a $750,000 pre-approved buyer. Now it also works in other states. So this ad right here, I have a friend who sells in Myrtle Beach. So I'm running an ad for him. 13 leads, $385 a lead, and we got a $300,000 pre-approved buyer. So it also works in other cities and states, which is awesome too. And by the way, people who are moving to Myrtle Beach, they're not in Myrtle Beach. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm targeting people who live in Raleigh. So I can, I want to show you real quick before I show you how to target an ad. I want to show you how you figure out where your people are coming from. All right. So I'm going to go into referrals. This is like a hidden gem of command. I'm going to go into referrals. And when I'm in referrals, I'm going to go to map. And then I'm going to go to the drop down menu here and click referral patterns. And so let me show you what I was doing for Myrtle Beach. Okay, so Myrtle Beach, and then you want to click on received. So these are where referrals are being sent to and from within our company. So if you want to type in a location and who's sending them, click received. This is being very slow today. I'm not really sure why. Hold on a second. Of course, it's always when I want to show something to somebody. Oops. I'm just going to stop sharing for 1 second because sometimes that speeds up my computer. All right. Well, that's, I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with referral patterns today. I'll go show you guys Facebook ads real quick while I'm waiting for that to load up. So if you want to see how to target a specific like target interest. So let's just create the campaign, social ad, and I'm just going to do a testing ad on this. So we're going to track buyers and we're going to target Facebook. I don't ever do Instagram. It doesn't really bring me much return on investment. So we're going to create the ad.
I'm assuming when you do Instagram, it's just splitting the budget to the both.
Yeah, it splits the budget, but it's dynamic. So if you spent, $50, it'll start with $25 on each, but then it will move your money over to the platform that's getting the best results automatically. Like, you don't have to worry about that.
Got it.
Okay. So we're going to choose a listing. Now, if you don't have a listing, you can ask someone for a listing to see if you can advertise it, or there's other ways to do it. I'll give you some ideas in a minute, but let's just use a listing to make it easier. So I'm just going to type in if I had a listing, I'll type in the address. All right, so let's just use this one. Oh, that's definitely not Montclair, New Jersey. Maybe it is. I don't know. No, it's not. Pleasantville, New Jersey. It's all good. All right, so here's where you type in your main copy. I would recommend using some emojis, and I would also recommend kind of editing this accordingly to make it a little more marketable sounding, right? Like what I suggest is, maybe putting the price, maybe putting the town, not putting the street, 2 or 3 features about the home, if it's convenient, if it's close to schools or transportation, and then your call to action, click learn more below for more information. It's very important to tell them what to do, because if you don't tell them what to do, people need instruction. So a call to action is really important. I want to show you guys down here. Oh, my kids are downstairs in the basement. They like freak me out. All right. Ad media is simple. Now, if you have created a design through Designs and you want to use it in your ad, you can do that too. So if you click add more, it brings up all the photos of the property here that you can select from. But if you created a design within the design templates, you can click add images and then browse your design library, and then it brings you to any design that you've made. So let's say this is the design that I made for this property. I can click this and it will bring it in, and I'll preview it, and I want to crop it for a square because that's what this is, and I'll save it, and then it's brought it looks really nice, right? And then then going forward, I'll use some of the images from the MLS by clicking add more. Maybe I'll throw in the kitchen. Use some of the best photos that you have. All right, so then when you're down here, you doing the Facebook ad, click configure. This is where you're going to start targeting. Now you have to choose your Facebook page. So up here it says Keller Williams. So you have to connect your Facebook page to command, and then you can choose, then you can choose your page. So I'm going to use this one, and this will change. See, now it says Nick Baldwin and J Metro Group new homes for sale. The link to the property or the destination goes in here. So when they click, that's where you want to send them. You also want to use Facebook lead generation form. Make sure you use that, because that will force their information into command, so you can call them and text them. And then down here, use custom settings for targeting. Now this is Pleasantville, New Jersey. Let me go. Okay, so some reason or another, the referral patterns are kind of buggy today, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But I'm gonna do. Let's just say I'm going to do New York. Let's say my buyers are coming from New York City. I'm just going to choose New York City. I'm not going to choose Pleasantville unless my buyers are coming from Pleasantville. The radius of 20 miles is fine. I usually do, if I'm advertising Northern New Jersey, I'll usually do 15 to 20 miles. And it will start within Manhattan and go around. Adding interests, this is where you put your ad in front of the people that you want to get in front of. So add interests, and then there's a whole list of like hundreds of different interests that you can scroll through if you're not familiar with them. However, I am, so I know the ones that I want to use. So I'm just going to type them in so you guys can take notes on this if you want. So finance, personal finance, credit, and luxury. I'll use luxury property. I'll use stock for stock market and stock exchange. I'll use market, which will bring me market economics, foreign exchange market, stock market, financial market. Also do market watch. And I'll do realtor.com because realtor.com tends to have much more motivated potential buyers and sellers than Zillow does. I can also do stuff like this, like first time home buyer. I could do mortgage, which will bring me options like mortgage loans, mortgage calculator. Okay, so this will put me in front of people that maybe are interested in figuring that stuff out. So let's save it. Okay, so here's what I have. Now, what you have to understand about these interests are, it includes people who are interested in finance or personal finance or credit or luxury property. It's not people interested in all of these together. It's one or the other, right? So you could do it this way, or if you want to get even more specific, more granular, you could do this. So I'm going to X out a bunch of these things here. Okay, watch this. All right, so now I'm going to get in front of people who are interested in finance or luxury property or first-time buyers, or they're first-time buyers. But I'm also going to then narrow my audience, and I'm going to type realtor.com. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting in front of people who are interested in finance or luxury property or first-time buyer. But all of these interests also have interest in looking on realtor.com for homes. So these two match up, realtor and finance, luxury property and realtor.com, and first-time buyer and realtor.com. So this is narrowing it even further and putting you in front of potentially people who have even more interest. So this is a great way to do it. And the other way I just showed you is a great way to do it. And so that's how you would target and create an ad in a very quick amount of time. I have videos that I can send you, and I have a 30-minute video on how to make these types of ads that I can also send over as well. So you can get more, I could just post it in the chat if you want, make it easier for you guys.
That'd be cool. Or you could post it in the way also. But you have a YouTube channel, they could follow you too, no?
Yeah, they can. Yeah. Thanks for the plug. If you want to follow my YouTube channel, but I'll grab some of the links and post them in the group and in the chat here before we jump off. But also follow up is very, very important because the ads are easy. Like anyone can generate an ad, anyone can generate a lead and create an ad. But the follow-up is the hard part. Like the part, one of the parts where people mess up or agents mess up with Facebook is they approach these people like they're right now buyers. Like they're like, I texted them and they weren't interested, or I called them and they didn't call me back, or they didn't know what I was talking about, or whatever it is. So all of those things can be overcome. So one of the first things I say to a Facebook lead is, hey, Mary Beth, it's Nick with Keller Williams, and I'm just giving you a call because you were on Facebook and you clicked on some homes we had there for sale. I know you might not be looking to make a purchase right now, but I was just curious, what'd you think about the house? Right? Like, just ask what they thought. Just get them talking. You know what I mean? And when you say, I know you're not looking to make a purchase, you're getting in front of that objection before they even give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, I'm just looking. That's so cool. I love to look. Window shopping is my favorite. What are you looking for specifically? Like, if they're in a department store, you can get that same question, right?
So Nick, I tell you, listen, I'm just looking, or I don't answer you, or I actually text you back. I'm just looking. We're not really serious, but yeah, the house looked great. Montclair is where we're going to end up.
Yeah, great. Well, listen, I love to window shop. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite things to do. Why don't I help you make your looking a little bit more purposeful? I can send you more houses that are similar to the ones that you clicked on. Is that kind of the house you think you would end up in when you finally end up making a purchase? Or, I was curious, like you clicked on the house. I was just curious what you thought of it. My seller would love the feedback. It would really help us get the house sold quicker, right? Oh, well, I don't know.
The hardwood floors were dark, and I don't think it would have been better if they were light, right?
Okay, so you like lighter floors. Got it. But now I remember it was a center hall colonial. Is that kind of your style, or do you prefer
Totally bedrooms upstairs?
Okay, so you want the bedrooms upstairs? Great. And then before you know it, they're telling you what they want. You know what I mean? And the goal should not be to set the appointment. If the goal is to set the appointment, then you're going to fail. If the goal should be to have a conversation and create the relationship. Now, if there's an appointment that comes from it, great. But that shouldn't be your goal. Hey, listen, I know you're busy. I don't want to keep you. You went to Facebook. You didn't expect anyone to call you when you clicked on an ad. I know how that is. Just cover all of these bases, right? Like everyone thinks. I'll let you go. Listen, I'm just going to drop you on some listing alerts. Every couple of weeks, you'll get a message about new homes for sale. I just want to keep in the loop with what's going on in the market. It's kind of crazy right now. Do you mind if I just follow up with you in
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Now, what are you going to do with me? Because I know everybody on here, their eyeballs and ears are like, and then what do I do, Nick?
Okay, so I have a smart plan for that. You know how Apple has an app for that? Well, I have a smart plan for that. So let me pull it up first in my smart plans. Hold on a second. Let me find it.
This question came to me yesterday while you're finding it. The difference there is command email, which is built into the smart plans, and then there's also MailChimp, which is different than the email going through smart plans, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can use MailChimp if you want.
No.
Or you can use, hold on, I'm trying to find this. Oh, here, I got it.
Okay.
You can use MailChimp if you want, or you can use command email. I mean, if you have, before we started with MailChimp, because we didn't have command email set up. And so when they got command email set up, they just kept that MailChimp integration in case anybody wanted to use it. I mean, I use both. I always use command email for smart plans because it's just tied right in. When I send out my mass emails, I typically use MailChimp just because there's more deeper analytics for that. I mean, I know our analytics will get better over time, but that's just my preference.
So you're saying when this is for somebody that's on the call, when they are sending out a smart plan, you are just using command email. You do not have to go ahead and set that MailChimp up in order for your
right. When you're creating a smart plan, it's by default, it's command email. If you're creating a template and you want to add like a bunch of people there's two different ways to do it. Like you can use a smart plan if you're mass emailing, or you can use, and which will by default you'll use command email, or you can use MailChimp. I mean, listen, just use command email. Like it's there. If you know what I mean, it's simple. It's like, just use it. Don't even. Okay, so let me jump in here real quick. So like, let's say someone tells you, they're 9 months out or 6 months out for making a purchase, and you have a conversation with them, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to buy in 6 to 9 months, right? But agents freak out. It's like, how am I supposed to keep in touch with someone for that long? Okay, so I have a smart plan for that. So it's called 6 to 9 months. If you go to the smart plan library and look for my name under author, you can just find this. But here's how it looks. So let's say I'm on the phone with somebody and Mary Beth tells me she's 6 to 9 months out. I get information from her. She's interested in this type of home. She wants to live here. This is how much she wants to buy for, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if someone says they're 6 to 9 months, don't take them at face value. Just don't, right? Because a lot of times they just throw out a time frame because they don't know any better. With Facebook leads, they just have a lack of information. So, I know there's been times where people go, oh, I'm a year out. And then like 2 months later, you found out they bought a house. It's because they don't have the information. They just figure their credit's too low or they don't have the down payment. But little do they know they can buy a house with a credit score of 550 to 600 and they only need 3 to 5% down. They don't know these things. So that's why they're like, oh, I need to get my credit up and I need to save more money. So if someone says I'm 6 to 9 months, for me, it's 6 months, but then I cut that in half to 3, just so I stay in front of them. And I don't, and I stay top of mind, right? Because if I take them for what they say, then I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna lose it. So the first step after you get off the phone is setting up on a bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, because they've told you where they want to live and what areas, and then put them on a saved property search through your KW website and also through the MLS. Don't just use the KW site, because like Zillow, sometimes it's not updated as quickly and there's nothing more accurate than the MLS itself. Okay. Then after 2 weeks, they're going to get a text message from you. Hey, Mary Beth, hope you're well. It's Nick Baldwin with KW, and I wanted to check to make sure the homes I'm sending you meet your criteria. I remember you said you were 6 to 9 months out, but I don't want to spam you. So you're waiting 2 weeks to send this text, because at that point, when you set them up on a bi-weekly neighborhood nurture and a saved search, they've gotten 2 bi-weekly neighborhood nurtures at that point, and they've probably gotten 2, 3, maybe 4 saved search emails. All right, so there's plenty of time to get them information and have them click through it and look. You're also referencing that they're 6 to 9 months out. Even though this is automated, this is a personal, authentic piece of information, right? That's automated, but this is what they told you, okay? You're waiting 45 days, 30-day delay, and then 45 days after that. And it doesn't have to be this late. You could edit this and make it sooner if you want. But this is where you're going to get a task reminder to personally send them homes. Like, you're going to hand select them from the MLS and send it to them. Hey, Mary Beth, I hand selected these properties for you. This is not an automated safe search. These are picked by me. Let me know what you think. Okay, then you're going to wait 5 days, and on day 50, it's going to send a text. What did you think of those homes I sent you from 5-6 days ago? Okay. Then another 2 weeks on day 64, just checking in. Is there anything I can help you with today, Mary Beth? If there is, I'm ready to show you homes when you are. Then we're waiting 20 days. And then we're on day 64. It's a task. Call, and then their name will be populated here. Call to check in. If no answer, then text, hi, Mary Beth, I hope I'm not being pushy. If you're 3 months out or so from wanting to make a purchase, this would be the perfect time to get started. I've got time this week if you're available. You're on day 84, which is essentially 90 days. So this is the 6 month to 9 month smart plan that's 84 days long. And it's 84 days, 11 steps, and 6 touches. The great part about this is, let's say on day 50, they reply to this. What do you think of that list of homes I sent? And they say, oh, I liked it, but could you increase my price point to whatever? Okay, awesome. I'll do that. You don't have to turn off the smart plan. You don't have to unsubscribe them. You can keep it going, because the delays in between each touch are far enough apart where the next text or email will make sense. Okay. Or if they say, I loved it, I want to see 123 Main Street right now. Great. You obviously turn off the smart plan, unsubscribe them, and now you're going on an appointment. So it's long enough, and there's intermittent gaps in between each touch, where if you have a conversation around day 50, you could keep the smart plan going, or if around day 50 they want to meet you, then you could turn it off. So it's pretty simple that way. But yeah, this is good. It's not too pushy, but it's got enough safe searches going and enough touches where you're going to stay top of mind. And I would be very surprised if you drop the ball here and they went with someone else. I'm not guaranteeing it, but you have a less of a possibility of that happening if you have them on this type of follow-up.
All right. That's awesome. And so because they're still going to be getting the safe search from you, and they're still going to be getting 2 times MLS and commands, and they're getting their biweekly nurture. So even if they completely fall off, they're still going to get those, what, 2, 3, 4, 5 contacts from you every month at least.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes they'll fall off, sometimes they won't, but you're staying in front of them, and that's what's important, you know.
Okay. So we have
I
just
gotta
about 10
jump off
minutes
actually
before you-
because I'm teaching Bergen County Partners in 10 minutes, so I
Yeah.
have to. And by the way, guys, let me, if you oh, you know what? I'll post in the group the different videos I talked about
Thank you.
when we hang up, in case you guys want to, learn a little bit more. I'll post those later on.
Fantastic. Okay. So this is great. I know you got to go. Are there any quick questions so that we can just let Nick go on to his next appointment? Any quick questions? Any thank yous? Any aha
Right when I
moments?
hop off, they're going to ask you a million questions.
Yeah, I know. Don't call me to ask
Thank
me about this
you.
stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Okay.
Nick.
All right, guys. See you later.